to this video. Here we can see in modeling tab we have three options: new measure, new column and new table. This is what we are trying to explore in this video. Okay. This is the important concepts in Power BI. New measure, okay, which will give you option to create a measure. New column means you are doing some calculation and creating a new column which says calculated column. Likewise, new table means with this data you will do some calculation creating a new table. So, it is called as calculated table. Let us see this one by one. Now, measure. Measure is nothing but when you hover over it, here you can able to see the tool tip. Write a DAX expression that calculates a value from your data. For example, this is the raw data you get into your Power BI by importing Excel or SQL Server or any online site. Okay, this is the raw data. Okay, it have as it is what you entered. Now, what happens if you want to perform any calculation on this data? That's where the measure came. Okay, for example, here you can able to see the quantity column. Okay, for particular customer, for particular product, how much they have ordered. The quantity is 1. Okay, one product they have ordered in P001 code. Likewise, you have the quantity. Let us imagine you want this total quantity. Okay, then later on you can use it to display it in a visual. What happens? Is there anything, any columns you have or any values you have for that total quantity? No, right? Here it is automatically displaying. This is called implicit measures. In measure we have two types, implicit and explicit. Now, coming to implicit, in this table data pane, here you can see the symbol summarization. This indicates these two are implicit measures, which means quantity and unit price. When you click on this, the column tools window will be open. Here you can see the option sum, don't summarize, average, okay, minimum, maximum, count and all. This is what the implicit measures looks like. What happens if you want this 10 value to be represent in different visual? You can't take this out, right? Or you can't able to travel this with another formula. That's why measure comes here. Let's try an example. I am creating a new measure. Okay, here you can see this is the symbol of explicit measures. Explicitly we are writing the DAX formula, so it is called explicit measure. Let us try to name this as total quantity equal to, okay, here for DAX you have many functions, we can see it one by one in future videos. Now I am using sum function which will total up your total quantity column, all sales quantity. So, it will sum up all the values and store it in total quantity, which means 10. Now, click on this. This is our formula. Now, total quantity explicit measure is created. For example, I am creating a card visual and take this total quantity. This is one single number. You can able to see it here. Right? This is how the measure works. Now, you can able to use this total quantity for other calculations also. If you want to add it with one or add it to multiply with some other values, you can do it. Okay, it is handy, it is ready, it is packed. Okay, total quantity. Likewise, the measure will work. Okay, to write the DAX formula, it will help you. Implicit measures is symbol like this, explicit measures are symbol like this, calculator. Okay, this is called the explicit measure. This is Amazon and all implicit measures. We have two types in the measures. Now let us try to see calculated column. Here inside modeling tab you have option new column, which means the calculated column. Okay. This calculated column works differently. For example, this is your raw data as I said. If you want another column but you don't have the data handy, from this data you need to create a new column. In that case, calculated column will helps you. For example, here you can see quantity and unit price you have. Once you multiply this, you can able to get your sales amount. But the sales amount is not there. You don't know what is the sales amount for product 1, 3, this row and all. You need to multiply this both quantity and unit price, then you can able to get your new column. That we can do by option new column. Okay. Once you click on this, again the formula bar will be displayed here. Let us say this as sales amount equal to, now I need to do some calculation to create this new column. What is our calculation? All sales of quantity into all sales of product. Unit price. Okay, now what happens, for each row the quantity and unit price got multiplied and the result will be stored in sales amount. It evaluated row by row. Now how can you see this? As this is a calculated column, we cannot show this in a chart. We can use a table. Okay, use this table and able to fetch this here. Okay, for each row if you want to see, you can add it in this particular table visual. Add this sales amount. Now you can see 1 into 1200 is 1200, 1 into 150 is 150. The calculated column is created. Within one click you have given the formula to multiply these two columns and new column is created. That is what calculated column means. Let us see what is new table, calculated table. Like calculated column, we can able to create a new table with the help of this option new table. Okay, imagine you want a total sales per category. Okay, in that case how can you do that? That you need in separate table. Okay, you don't want to create enter data and manual calculation, then you can get the output table. That's a difficult task, right? So what we can do, by the calculations like DAX formula, we can able to create the new table. Here you can see I am adding the category column. Now you can able to see two categories are the electronics and furniture. Now my requirement is for particular category what is the total sales I need to know. For electronics, what the total sales amount, 1200 plus 1200 plus 50 plus 75, that I need in one separate row. And for furniture what is the total sales, 150 and 300, that I need in separate second row. This need to be in new table. This is my requirement. Let us see how to do that. Again click on new table. Now for this we can able to write a DAX formula. Okay, for example this is my summary table. Okay, by category we are summarizing it. We have a function called a summarize. Use that function. From which table you are going to do this? All sales. This is our table. Okay, group by which column you need group by? We are grouping by our category column. Okay, now you need to give a name of your new table. Like I will name this as category sales. Now you need to give the expression. What you want to do? You want to sum up the value. Which value you want to sum up? The total sales you want to sum up, like sales amount. Okay, this is what the new formula to create my new table, which means calculated table. Now you can see it's not added in this particular sequence. Why? Because these are all columns. Calculated columns measures will add here, but coming to calculated table it add below of your all other tables. Now this is my summary table. Let's try to view this again. Table visual, summary table. I have two columns, category and category sales. Now here you can able to see what's the value. For particular category electronics it's 2525, for furniture it's 450. Here you can see 150 plus 300, 450 is furniture sales. This is how you can able to create a calculated table. And now we can try to explore the option quick measure. Okay, Instead, till now we have created a measure by writing a formula manually, right? What this quick measure does, already all the formulas for the particular calculation is written and loaded in here, so that within one click you can quickly create a measure. That's why it's called as quick measure. For example, if you want to know the minimum per category, in that case it needs some DAX formulas, right? You don't need to write it manually. Here while selecting itself you can drag and drop and easily able to find the value. For example, minimum per category is my function. Now I want to see the sales amount, okay, or else you can see customer ID, okay. Like in this option you can able to change the summarization settings also. Now let's see count of customer ID. Okay, I want to know the count of customer ID. Okay, what's the minimum count of customer ID, okay, per category. In category wise I need to drag and drop the category. For example, electronics, how many customers are there, furnitures, how many customers are there. Okay, in that list I want to see what's the minimum value, okay, which category consists minimum customer count, that's the minimum per category. Okay, which category have minimum customer count, that's what here summarization settings also, and you can drag and drop category base value all there. Let's try to add this, click on add. Now here you can see the formula is pre-written for you. Okay, whatever you selected here, the formula is pre-written. Now the output is created here. Again go to modeling, click on quick measure so that this pane will be disappear. Now create a card visual and select this count of customer ID minimum per category. Now you can able to see it's 2. Why? Because we have two category, electronics and furnitures. In electronics we have how many customers? 1, 2, 3, 4 customers. Furnitures is 2 customer. So minimum is 2. That's what quick measure helps you to create a measures even without writing the formulas.